I wanted to update you on my meetings I had yesterday and what we're doing also today in Washington. So we are implementing our plan, which is threefold. The first one was, of course, to work on preventing tariffs. The second one was to make sure that we would be preparing a response. And thirdly, working on our long-term response, which is basically diversify our markets and also making sure that there are no trade barriers between provinces and territories across the country. So in the context of this plan in Washington, I've been working on the first phase, which is preventing tariffs. Throughout my meetings, what I've done is really to explain what was at stake and how much the Trump tariff tax would have an impact on consumers on both sides of the border. Well, I think that we're taking these tariff threats very, very seriously because we know that the impacts on Canadians would be really, really, really difficult. And why I'm saying that is we know that there would be lots of job loss across the country. And we know that this would also have an impact on cost of living for Canadians. I won't go into the details of what that figure is like, but definitely we have numbers that are highlighting how much this could be devastating. This would be basically starting a trade war. The Americans would be starting a trade war against us, and this would be the biggest trade war between Canada and US in decades. We've gone through a very difficult moment during COVID where we had to save many businesses and save a lot of livelihoods across the country. And so we have the experience of how we can address severe economic damage. At the same time, I think that there is still hope that if we use our levers well, that we can make sure that Americans backtrack. And that's why I've been saying everything is on the table, and we have to be able to show how much this will have an impact also on the other side of the border, which is job losses also in key states. And at the same time, this would result in hurting American consumers because also lots of things we export would cost much more. So these are the conversations that we're having, that I'm having. Like I was saying in French, Atana, a lot of senators are very surprised by the numbers we're giving them. A lot of senators have never heard about this Trump tariff tax. And a lot of them are understanding a bit more what would be their impact on their own constituency and how much this would go against a promise they made and President-elect Trump made during the campaign, during the elections, about making sure that the economy and life is much more affordable for Americans. So that's why I think that we need to continue to press people on the Hill in Washington and across the US, including key governors and state representatives. We have to be ready. There's a level of unpredictability that is linked to Trump and his administration, and therefore we have to take the threats very seriously. We have no other choice. So that's why I'm here preventing tariffs and working the Hill. And I think having an impact that is really important. And particularly, I must say, with John Thune, who's a very senior Republican, and Lindsey Graham and Jim Rich, the reaction was unanimous. Basically, American senators themselves are saying, we don't want this. And so I think we can make sure that we have more allies. I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think that I'm calling on business leaders, premiers, everybody having a relationship with Americans, and we know Canadians have so many of these relationships, to be united, because this is a defining moment. And there is clearly a chance for us to have a say in what President Trump will do next. And meanwhile, we just need to be united, because if we need to retaliate, we will do so, and Americans will discover Trump terror attacks.